Deportiva y con swing.
Deportiva y con swing.
La factoría del deporte desde New York para ti. Es una máquina.
Es una máquina
Pensada para ti.
pensada para ti. Número uno en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Con informaciones importantes siempre frescas.
Y con entrevistas que te ponen de cabeza.
Lo mejor del deporte lo encontrarás aquí.
Búscale en las redes, dale like y compartir.
Suscríbete,
Ay sí,
infórmate.
ok. Dale a la campana para que te llegue.
All can record. If you can't record, raise your hand here. I think I got everybody. Okay, you guys all got the release there. We sent Tucker to the Tigers for minor league infielder Nick Quintana. And if you have any questions for Nick, fire away.
Well, Nick, how long has this kind of been in the works? Obviously, you had the contract option, but with the Tigers and this trade. No, you're on mute.
It also doesn't help, does it? Not that long, probably about a week. We talked, we canvassed the league to see where the interest was, and they were the fit, and we've talked to them for probably the last week or so about this.
Nick, in the press release, you kind of address resources and payroll and things like that. Is this a sign that payroll is going to be reduced from where it was last year, and is this a signal for other moves that might be coming?
Yeah, I think for us, we just have to make sure that our resources and our payroll are aligned, and they weren't with this move. And I think that's something where moving forward, we're going to have to take it one move at a time and see where that goes.
Do you have a payroll set for next year? Have you been given, and is it a competitive payroll that you can be competitive?
We're still working through that.
Obviously, this signals Tyler Stevenson's going to probably be your regular catcher, I assume. What do you envision for the other catcher? Are you going to look outside the organization, or do you think you might need to sign a veteran or more veteran backup?
Yeah, I think with Tyler, he definitely has a chance to. He's going to be the regular catcher. He showed this year that he has the ability to take that. He's did a great job offensively, but also leading the pitching staff. And we feel that he's going to grow nicely into this role. As a backup catcher, you always we know every year that we use more than one catcher. It's something where Mark Colesberry is on the roster at the moment, but we obviously like to get somebody else that can at least complement Tyler on the roster and that can play in the major leagues.
Another part of the release you mentioned, like improving the team internally and using the scouting and development that you have. Like, is that the biggest area you see as the opportunity for improvement this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done a good job in the last year. If you look externally, our farm system rankings have improved. I know that we've done a good job. Our group has done a good job. Brad Metter, Sean Pender, Trey Hendricks, and company have done a really good job of influxing talent into the farm system through the draft international. I think that's something we have to continue to be our focus. In this market, that's got to be our focus all the time is our scouting and player development and building from within. And that's what we're trying to do.
Besides the Tigers, how much interest was there kind of around the league for Barnhart?
We had a couple teams that we had conversations with.
What do you like? And what do you? Go ahead, Bobby. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
I'm probably going to ask the same thing as Mark. Just with the deal you did make, what did you like about the infielder you got back?
He's a guy we liked in the draft a few years ago. He plus defensive third baseman really good defensive third baseman. Offensively, he's got some tools. He low average, but he very low batting average on balls in play. He takes decent at bats, and we think he can grow into a usable major league player with the tool set he has.
The language that you used about developing and the improvement from inside, does that preclude much free agent activity?
I think we're going to just have to, it's going to be more of a wait and see, but I don't think that we're not going to sign players on the free agent market. I think it's something where, we just, this move did not make sense from where we were with payroll, and we had to make sure that we made the adjustment.
Is it a separate thought process for the Barnhart option versus the Miley option because they play different positions?
I think it's a similar thought process as you work through it. Is who do you have? How can it work? And we're still working down that road.
Have you got any indications on the other options, like Castellanos can opt out, Justin Wilson as the player option?
No, not at this point.
And you guys saw that Cabrera and Lorenzen and the third guy,
Givens
became free agents a little while ago.
Have you heard anything from Scott Boras about Nick Castellanos?
I've not talked to Scott yet.
Obviously, the payroll is a big consideration, but how tough is it to lose Tucker, just knowing kind of what he meant to the pitching staff? And obviously he's been around a long time, but his defense especially.
Yeah, it's on a personal level, it's really tough. He's a great player, but great guy. Great guy in your clubhouse. Great guy to be around. He's been in our system since he was drafted out of high school. So it's been a long time. I've known him for a long time. And you get to know people, and so it's always tough. But I think that's something where we do have some guys that like Tyler that can replace things that he does, and we're going to have to go with him going forward.
How much did Tyler's improvement behind the plate play into this? That you see him as a guy that can play however many games catchers play these days?
Yeah, he did a tremendous job from start to finish. And I think it started last year. With where he was at the beginning of spring training last year, before we moved into summer camp. What he did to improve moving into summer camp, and then as the season progressed, whether he was on the taxi squad or on the big league roster or at the alternate site, is where this is where the transformation from him defensively started. He's always been a guy that can hit. He's always been a guy that you can trust in the middle of your order. And he really took steps forward. J.R. House did a tremendous job with Tyler, helping him move forward. And this year came into spring training as well. Tucker caught a little bit more. Then they started going 50-50, and the more offensive spots we put Tyler in, the more success he had. And for us, this is a big part of this move, is because Tyler can take that role, and we do feel really good about him being our everyday catcher.
Is there any way you can see this move and see it as a way for this team to be better in 2022 than they were in 2021?
Yeah, I think you never want to lose players, but at the same time, I think Tyler playing more is going to help him continue to develop, and he has a chance to develop into an all-star type catcher, and I think that's something where letting him play more is hopefully going to help this team.
As you put together the roster, are you planning for a DH, or has that had any impact on the planning you're doing?
I'm not planning on anything until it actually happens.
Anything else, guys? For Nick? We're going to let Nick go, but don't you guys go. I want to talk to you about awards a week real quick before y'all hang out.
Hola, ¿qué tal mi gente? Les saluda Juan Carlos Santana, el Choco de Telemicro, y aprovecho para saludar y felicitar a mis hermanos de la máquina deportiva.